So, interestingly, one of the things that happens for victims of abuse when they are coming out of an abuse dynamic is they find that they are coming into alignment with reality. That intrinsically part of being in the abuse dynamic is that they had to disconnect from reality and their understanding of it, or they were forced to by the abuser. The abuser was overriding their understanding of themselves and reality, redefining reality for them. And so, the nice thing about reality is that it's still chugging along. Reality is still real. As my friend Faith says, still going on behind the scenes. The truth is still the truth. And so a victim of abuse can reconnect with that as they are moving on their healing process. An abuser, on the other hand, their relationship with reality is kind of a torturous one because on some level they know it's not true. That's why they have to abuse people into sustaining that idea of reality. Because they can't change reality, what they do is they force or coerce people into pretending or believing that what they wish were true was true. So it's along the lines of the emperor's new clothes. And it I'm not saying abusers can never come into alignment with reality and then stop abusing, but it's very rare. To reorient your thinking so drastically is extremely difficult, especially when you're getting benefits from doing it, or you get to think of yourself as better than you are because of it. So victims and abusers both are engaging in magical thinking. And the thing that sustains magical thinking is constant reinforcement. The victim, while they're in that low-key Delulu phase of, oh, I love this person, they love me, we're in a great love story, or this is, we're family, we're the best family ever, whatever the story, the narrative is, that's false. They keep seeking out confirmation that what they want to be true is true. And this can be a struggle when you are let's say a friend of somebody and you don't agree. And reality isn't reality and you don't want to push them away, but you also can't co-sign their Delulu, right? You can't go, oh yeah, this person, he or she is the best person. What an amazing spouse you have. Oh my gosh, your parents are so great. Wow, what an amazing friend. That's going to be a lie for that person who knows what reality is. And so a victim can push those people away, or those people can naturally distance themselves from the victim. And so that's one among multiple reasons why a victim gets isolated. And it becomes more and more difficult to sustain the false reality as things get worse and as you have less and less confirmation that it's true. From the opposite side, abusers, if, for example, you have a grandiose, narcissistic kind of abuser, somebody who wants to hear that they are the best, most incredible, smartest, most right, most amazing person. They want people to worship them. They're going to have to constantly hear that. They need to have that constantly reinforced because it's not true. If it were true, if they truly, if it was truly real, they wouldn't need that reality reinforced, right? Because there's a peace that you have when you know what's true. There's ground that you stand on when you know what reality is. You don't feel like you need to convince anybody else. You don't feel like you have to make people believe a thing for you to feel okay. Anyway, whenever you see somebody who has a narrative or belief structure and they need constant reinforcement of it, they are constantly consuming information related to it. It doesn't necessarily mean that is a bad person. That's not what I'm saying, because that is one way we shift our own mindsets. But it's something to just be aware of, something to pay attention to. When something is real to you, you're not constantly looking for confirmation. It's like air. It's gravity. It's there. It doesn't matter if someone else thinks it doesn't exist. That's irrelevant. If a child comes to you and says the sky is, I don't know, purple, right? And it's not, you don't argue with them that it's not purple. You just go, oh man, that's crazy. Anyway, right? You don't take it seriously. You know it's true. Anyway, I hope this makes sense, and I'll talk to you next time.